This is video number 816, Quick Start Part 0.2. In this part 0.2, we'll enter a simple 3-line program to make the Mini-Panel automatically blink its red LED every half second. And creating a simple 3-line blink the red LED routine. You don't need any train or track to do this simple exercise. In the original Part 3 made back in 2016, there are more simple exercises you can do with this Mini-Panel without having to have a train or track or anything hooked up to the track. Now we'll try to type in a simple program that'll just blink the LED automatically at a regular interval. And our program is right here, and this is demo 1 from the original video 816. It appears in part 3 of video 816, which was actually made back in 2016. But it's the simplest automatic program I can come up with. It consists of 3 lines. The first one says accessory 2000 norm. That just sends a command to set accessory 2000 to normal position. That would normally most likely be a turnout. It could be something else. Your accessories can be, according to the documentation, anywhere between 1 to 2044. So we're just using the dummy command 2000. There is no turnout 2000 in the system, but it doesn't care. It'll send a command and blink the LED when it does it. Second statement is a delay a quarter second times 2. That's a half a second. It just gives a half a second between blinks. Then the third statement says link to input 4, and that takes it up to the top again. We're using input 4 for this thing, and we haven't talked about setting up the configuration of this Mini-Panel, but as it comes defaulted, it's set the memory, it's set the cab address 3, and all this memory is available. We'll talk about the configuration later, but this will work for what we're doing. So, and these commands, there's actually like a tree of commands that NCE gives you in the technical reference manual, but I found it easier to make a cheat sheet. That's kind of what this thing is right here. Borrowed this idea from the late Fred Cupp, who trained me how to use the Mini-Panel, but we put the commands we commonly use, and what changes is in the red, and the other part stays the same. For example, delay 4 seconds times 2. The 2 is shown in red, and here's your actual numbers. You put in 5124, and if you want a longer delay, like say 2 seconds, you could put an 8 in there, so that red 4 would change to an 8. So we've already entered those commands there using our cheat sheet. Now we'll try to type them into the, using the ProCab, we'll try to type them in. I've got the ProCab connected to the programming port here, and the Powerhouse Pro is over to the left here, and this is the cable coming in from the Powerhouse Pros. Tilt up and see that. That's what it looks like all together. Powerhouse Pro, Mini-Panel, ProCab plugged into the programming port, Powerhouse Pro plugged into the operational port, cab bus. Alright, we'll see if we can get this program typed in here. I powered the system back up, and you can see perhaps it says NCE Mini-Panel version 1.00. That's what you want to see, and you hit the program escape button here on the lower left. That brings you to the main menu, which gives you choices of setup, review, and test operation. So we want to do setup, and we're gonna start at input 4. And again, this is the same demo from the original 2016 video, number 816, part 3. We're gonna push 1 for setup, and then 1 for input, and then it defaults to 1. We will say input 4. Enter step number, it's default to 1, so we just push enter. So it says input 4 step 1. We're ready to go, and here's our commands available, and I believe you can use a scroll wheel. Yeah, it says you're actually looking at that tree that's in the technical reference manual: 1 accessory, 2 macro, scroll wheel, 3 loco, 4 signal, 5 other commands. And I think you can use the increase, decrease buttons to scroll through that menu also. But since we've got our cheat sheet, it's probably faster and easier to go that way, which is what we'll do. So we're ready. So we want to enter a 1 for accessory, 2000 for accessory 2000, and then a 1 for norm. It's already defaulted to that. Press enter. Now we're ready for input 4, step 2. So we're going to push a 5 for other, 1 for delay, and 4 for 2 for, got to push a 2 to indicate quarter-second delay. There's also 4-second delays. I usually use the quarter. So the number of quarter-second delays, that's the number in red, 2. Enter that. That gives us our half-second delay. Now input 4, step 3. That's going to be the link command. So we're going to push a 5 for other, then a 3 for link. Link to input what, we're going to tell it 4. Enter. So we're done entering commands. So we'll push the program escape button down here to back out to our main menu. Now we'll do a review, which is 2. Push 2 for review. Review input. Enter 4. So there's our accessory 2000 norm and step input 4, step 1. We can push the increase button to see input 4, step 2, the next memory location. Delay a quarter-second times 2. That's our half-second. Push the increase button again. Get input 4, step 3. Link to input 4. That takes it back to the top. So we've got our 3 commands in that we want to use. And incidentally, you can go up and down through the memory locations by using the increase and the decrease buttons. If you use the increase fast, it goes by 4, just like it does when you run the cab, or you can use the scroll wheel. And the enter key will also take you down, but to come back upward, you have to use one of the decrease methods, either this button, the decrease with the scroll, or decrease fast. So now we'll back out to the main menu. We'll push test. That's 3. Making sure our jumper, our program jumper, is on 1 pin and not 2. So I'm going to say test operation, input number 4, and you can see there we're getting the blinking. So that's executing that 3-line program called an automatic blink. Now there's no way to gracefully end that. It says press program escape to end testing. Well, you push it and it just ignores you because it's busy working. So we can use the reset button here to stop it. You notice it stopped blinking. Now it went back to NCE Mini-Panel version 1.00. Push program escape to get back to the main menu. We can test again. 3 for test. Testing input. We want to say input 4. Enter. And you can see it starts blinking again. So that's how we can write a very simple 3-line program. If you can get to this point, you can say you're programming the mini panel. It's just a matter of adding more commands and experimenting with it. There's like 15 or so demonstrations in video 816. I call them experiments you can play around with, do different things like run trains. There's even one for running 2 trains, one for running automatic point-to-point, and so on. The instruction manual for the mini panel shown here on the left is usually included in the package with the mini panel when you purchase it. The technical reference manual shown here on the right, you can print this off the NCE website, and you'll want to do that pretty soon if you're going to use this for automatic control. This new 2023 parts we're adding 0.1 and 0.2, which is a configuration are probably applicable for both automatic control and if you're using it for building a control panel for a yard, the more normal function. But the section 0.3 and 0.4 that we're adding are probably applicable to automatic control only. Here's page 2 of the instruction manual. It says a secondary use of the Mini-Panel is to provide rudimentary automation of trains. For more information on this aspect of the Mini-Panel technical reference is available for download from the website. That's what we're talking about. And I would also study the rest of this page 2. They've kind of condensed here in several paragraphs the whole gist of what we're trying to show in this video.